Have you ever called yourself lazy? Or even worse, been called lazy by someone else? To a lot of people, lazy is a four-letter word the likes of the F, C, and other no-no words I can't say on this show. But what if laziness wasn't something to be ashamed of or afraid of? What if it was your ultimate superpower? Welcome to Change Made Easy. Changing your habits, behaviors, and routines is hard. We make it easy. I'm Paul Leviton, and I help high achievers just like you who feel stuck bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Traditional self-help doesn't work. It's either too rigid, too generic, or too overwhelming. My approach is different. I simplify change by making it so easy it can't not happen. Using my easier framework, I'll help you create habits, behaviors, and routines that stick for good, so you can stop struggling and start thriving. It's that easy. Laziness as a superpower. And how could that even be? Laziness is the thing that we're all so afraid of. Man, I would be more fit. I would be more wealthy. I would be more happy. I would have it all if I could just stop being so lazy. If you're like me or like most people I've worked with, that's the constant monologue that's running in your head. It feels like everything is on the other side of this mythical beast that just needs to be tamed, and that beast's name is laziness. And this makes sense because it's been bred into us from a young age. This has to do with the Protestant work ethic that all westernized nations are built on. It has to do with the religious upbringings that a lot of us grew up in. It has to do with the schools and the school system that raised us. So it can take a lot of time to unravel and unwind all of this. And even hearing this, you probably recoil a bit, like, no, laziness is not a good thing. I cannot be successful and be lazy. I cannot be anything I want to be and be lazy. Laziness is the thing that is holding me back from having the life that I want. And if that's the feeling that you're getting right now, I implore you to listen to this with an open mind and be open to the possibility that maybe things could be different. And I want you to explore that because that's what I've been exploring in my own life. I want to be successful, but not if it means me trading my peace. Hey, real quick, we'll be back to the show in just a few seconds, but right now I just have to tell you about my free weekly newsletter. If you want to join the thousands of change seekers just like you who get a curated list each week of 5 educational, informative, and inspiring pieces of content to help you on your quest for change, then click the link in the notes that says free newsletter right now. You'll get signed up for free tips that will make your change journey easier, sent straight to your inbox every Friday. All you have to do is click free newsletter in whatever app you're listening on. Okay, now back to the show. I would love to be rich and famous. I would love to have financial stability, let alone just financial freedom. But I also know myself, and I know that I refuse to trade off certain aspects of my life. I will not trade off my fitness. I will not trade off my passions. I will not trade off my relationships in order to reach some arbitrary metric of outward success. Does that make me lazy? Potentially, in some people's eyes, it does, because it means that I'm not going to work late. When I worked as a medical recruiter, it was a 9-to-5 office job, and I remember on my first day, the CEO said, the people who are most successful here are the people who come in early before 9 and they leave late after 5. And I immediately thought, well, guess I'm not going to be that successful here, because that is not me. I don't care enough, and I don't want it badly enough. Is that me being lazy? Yes. But that laziness allowed me to have a work-life balance. That job that I came in right at 9, I did my work, and I checked out right at 5, I was able to still maintain my fitness. I was still able to go on dates with my girlfriend at the time, now fiance. I was still able to walk my dog and get my steps and go grocery shopping and cook healthy meals. And I did all of that because I was lazy at the job that I had. And the people who weren't, the people who went above and beyond, the people who did the extra, who went the extra mile, they hated their lives. They were out of shape. They were drinking every night and doing other illicit substances because they were burning the proverbial candle at all ends. Being lazy has come to be seen as the ultimate insult. You call someone lazy when you want to either cut them to their core directly or chop them down in the eyes of others. You say, oh yeah, my brother, he's such a bum, he's so lazy. Say, oh yeah, that new girl in the office, she doesn't really do anything, she's really lazy. But to me, being lazy is just being smart. You and I have talked many times about the fact that everything comes down to an energy exchange. Everything comes down to the animalistic desire for survival. And survival is all about saving and conserving energy. So we go towards things that save our energy, and we find it harder to do things that expend more energy. So laziness is not some personal shortfall or some moral misgiving. It is literally just your body and your brain doing what it was designed to do. To conserve energy, to rest, and to do what we are best at. I think that this is such an important concept to not just understand, but to really grasp, because this sets you up for so much discomfort, sadness, animosity, struggle, when you feel like you are being lazy and that's wrong. And you feel like if you could just not be lazy, everything would be better. But the reality is, laziness is built into our DNA. We have been told by society that we have to strive for more always. But to that I ask, to what end? The other week I was invited to a client's house for a barbecue, which was a beautiful place. It was a beautiful home. It was so gracious of him and his family to invite me and my fiance in. And we had a great meal together. But I couldn't help but thinking, in my interactions with this client in the past, he's told me about his struggles financially. He runs a very successful business, and he's told me that although he's making a lot of money, it goes out just as fast as it comes in. And he's expressed fear to me that if I stop, everything falls apart. I can't take a day off because I need to keep making money. I have to provide for my kids is something that he says a lot. And I understand that sentiment. But I can't help but look around his house and see all of the trappings of wealth and the fancy cars in the driveway and the pool that runs on this high-tech cleaning system that doesn't need chlorine, and the 2 different grills and the 3 different this and the tiles and the mirrors and all these different things, and think, what if you just didn't care about all of that? Rather than thinking you have to provide and you have to do more and you have to get more and you have to level up and you have to do all these things, like, what if you just did less and were okay with less and accepted that you don't need half of what you think you need? And how much easier would this guy's life be? He's made enough money that him and his family could be good forever. But every time they get more, they learn to spend more. So what would the lazy person do? And I know you can hear me talk about laziness as some positive thing and immediately have a visceral response and go, no, but if I'm lazy, I won't get all of the things that I want. I won't get all of the things that I need. And to that, I would say 2 things. One is there's an important distinction between need and want that we have to draw here. A lot of people confuse wants for needs. There's very little that you need in this life. There might be a lot that you want. But if you can start to focus less on the latter and more on the former, you'll see that it takes much less energy to get and maintain that. So this is what I mean when I say that laziness can be your superpower. Rather than trying to do everything so that you can have everything, what if you said, I'm going to be lazy and do as little as possible? And what's the fastest, easiest, safest, laziest route that I can get to cover all of my basic needs, so that I can have everything that I need? Maybe I give up some of my wants, but I can have everything that I need by doing the least. And then what you get back for that is time. You get back energy. You get back the ability to then pour into the other areas that so many people complain that they don't have time to do. People look at me and see me on my social media exercising and climbing and biking and reading books and reading blogs and writing and listening to podcasts and writing podcasts and recording podcasts and interviewing people and speaking on stages. And they go, how do you have time for all of this stuff? It's because I don't work a lot. I've created a life that I don't have to overwhelm myself doing work so I can keep up with people that I don't even care about. Laziness is the bedrock foundation of my life. I want to do as little as possible, and that's okay. Yes, I exercise, but I want to do as little exercise as possible as I can to be healthy. Yes, I work, but I want to do as little work as I can to be financially well off. Do you understand the difference? Laziness is not something that I am ashamed of. It is the entire thing that allows me to be the happiest, healthiest version of myself. And that's what I want for you. I don't want you to feel like you always have to do more, because decidedly, definitively, you do not. Find the workout routine that gets you the health that you need, and be okay with that. Find out how much money you actually need if you cut out all of the extra fluff. And ask yourself, if you could make that much money working only 20 hours a week, how would your life change? Laziness does not have to be a moral judgment. It can be a lens through which you view the world, because laziness at its root is just conserving energy. And not only is that a biological drive that we all have, but when you conserve energy in one area, you have more of it to give in others. So rather than fighting against laziness, which is built into your very DNA, what if you leaned into it and allowed it to help guide your life away from the things that are sucking your energy, and instead to save your energy for the things that actually matter? If you're really passionate about making this change stick, then I just have to remind you about my free weekly newsletter. Don't miss out on joining the thousands of change seekers just like you who get a curated list each week of 5 educational, informative, and inspiring pieces of content that will help you on your quest for change. Go to the notes of whatever app you're listening on and click the link that says free newsletter now, and you'll be signed up to get free tips sent straight to your inbox every Friday that will help make your change journey easier. All you have to do is click free newsletter right now. Go to that link, and I'll see you back here every Tuesday and Thursday for new episodes of Change Made Easy.